And the winner of the Best Space Documentary is, again, The Great Voyage.
And of course, we saw speaking from them earlier with Radomir Akulic from Croatia. And the winner is Mitsuyasu Sakai from Japan.
Hi, and welcome to Stellar Journeys. My name is Kat, and this is Ash. The team here at SFC Films have created this show to help us look beyond our immediate environment and out to the stars.
It's about learning how much we can achieve beyond our own tiny corner of the galaxy. It can be scary to feel this small, but also beautiful to know we are all in this together and can achieve remarkable things.
Enter the launch of Sputnik. On October 1957, Sputnik orbited the Earth for about 98 minutes, and its function was only to transmit a few blips while in space. But this was a pivotal moment in history for space exploration. It is often referred to as the start of the space age.
4 key events: Pioneers 11 and 10, Skylab, Viking 1 and 2, and Voyager 1 and 2. In November 1973, Pioneer passed by Jupiter and we saw the red spot up close. Between 1973 and 74, the first space station, Skylab, was occupied by crews called in turn Skylab 2, 3, and finally Skylab 4. Skylab was the forerunner of today's space station. Astronauts lived for up to 3 months in space and did all manner of experiments, but most of it was beyond the general public.
The program was known as the fourth human spaceflight program carried out by NASA. It was established to create reusable transportation in pursuit of space exploration. Dating back to its inception in the 1970s, over 50 years ago, let us jump on a virtual timeline and explore the shuttle's history, achievements, and overall contribution to humans reaching to the stars.
Like Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin, and SpaceX should be commended for enabling opportunities like these to happen, as they have been developing new types of spacecraft in recent years.
To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do.
The governance portion is really interesting because everyone likes to think that space is lawless, woohoo, it's the final frontier, and that's not true at all. We have what we call, we have the Outer Space Treaty, which many people think of as like the Magna Carta of space law.
If we were to have a community on the moon, then the legal framework is complex, but there are important questions to ask, and some of the words that you use in your introduction are actually quite key. So the idea that there is a community is important.
That is, there were planets found around pulsars, which are the least likely place you'd ever expect planets to be. These are...
What's a pulsar?
It's an object about the size of a city, so I think Brisbane or Sydney are a bit smaller than that, more massive than the Sun. But the other thing is that those methods tell us something about the planet that is causing it. With the transit technique, the bigger the planet, the more light that you block. So a big planet will give a bigger dip than a small planet, so we can get the size.
So much easier to find bigger planets than smaller
planets. Of course, and that's one of the challenges. It's a lot easier to find big things than small things.
There can be little doubt the destruction of the Gen ship was deliberate.
Has anyone taken responsibility for the attack?
Not yet.
And the tech that was used, what did the scan reveal?
Inconclusive. Pod's data was scrambled before complete upload.
Time-lapse is a cinematographic technique by which each frame that composes a film is captured in a longer period of time than the one in which it will subsequently be displayed. It is a natural phenomenon governed by laws of physics as rigorous as it is simple. The colors of the sky change according to how far the rays of light go. When the sun is low on the horizon, its rays must pass through a thicker layer of atmosphere to reach us.
Today we'll be looking at the newest habitat in space at the International Space Station. Here we will see how Homo sapiens deal with the greatest challenges facing all of mankind. Follow me, Fredrik Attenberger, as we journey to space to see exactly how Homo sapiens survive out there.
Try not to think too much about it, Doss. We're looking at 2 more days of slow burn to establish a more circular orbit. And then, your job's done. And it'll be up to the colonists.
There, and then...
Ollie, you didn't screw this up, did you?
Oh, come on.
What now?
Warning, emergency escape pod activated.
Oh, hell no.
Hey, what the hell do you think you are doing?
No, let go, I'm going to
No,
Earth.
you little idiot, there's no way you can travel to Earth in this.
I can and I will.
Hey, cut it out. Listen to me. Do you want to die? Look, kid, this is for emergencies only. It's orbital only. You try to enter the atmosphere in this, you will burn up in seconds.
No. I'm going back. I'm going to Earth. I want to see Dad.
О, я помню это кафе. Здесь раньше такие вкусные пирожные были. А может, зайдем?
Значит, пробуешь себя в мире кино?
Если честно, пока не знаю, насколько это серьезно, но мне определенно это нравится.
Я рад.
The human race is such a young race in general, and not many people can really see that timeline. But if you write out our history, you'll notice that 50 years ago, roughly 50 years ago, is when we just landed on the moon. And before that, not even within the past century or two, that's when we first started to fly airplanes, which is insane. And think about 50 years from now, what are we gonna do then? Someone is gonna figure out some way to go light speed without us breaking to a million pieces, or just ways that we can travel further out. Because at the end of the day, I mean, humans as a species.
Once the equipment is developed, it undergoes extensive testing.
Every component had to be tested and qualified. Such things as shock tests, vibration tests. The vessel that was going to carry the spacecraft away from the Earth, when it starts up, it vibrates like this. Well, you have to design your equipment to take that type of shake so that it will survive the mission.
The final spacecraft communication system delivered by Collins Radio contains 12 modules. Together, they weigh about 195 pounds and have a total power consumption of about 150 watts.
The James Webb Space Telescope launches. With a mirror 3 times larger than the Hubble telescope, it sees further into our past, closer to the beginning of time, and determines what molecules and signs of life are in the atmospheres of exoplanets. 1 month after launching, the James Webb Telescope reaches its target orbit, 1.5 million kilometers, 1 million miles away from Earth.
Skeleton go for post sequence 4. Copy that.
The Artemis program launches a mission to the Moon, sending scientific instruments and equipment in preparation for the arrival of astronauts. Earth receives the first images from the distant James Webb Telescope. SpaceX's Lunar Starship launches. It performs the first working Starship-to-Starship orbit refueling, allowing it to deliver a payload of 100 metric tons to the Moon for NASA's Artemis program. NASA launches rockets to begin construction of the LunaNet, small satellites deployed to form a lunar constellation, creating the Internet of the Moon. Robotic landers, rovers, and astronauts on the Moon communicate with each other and to ground stations on Earth using the new system. LunaNet provides communications during deliveries of equipment to the far side and to the polar regions of the Moon.
Stop! Return to your place of origin. You have no purpose.
Yes, I do. I'm an explorer.